Hello and welcome to PAXTON ROAD TV. I am Sam Spurs for Life, and this is your PAXTON ROAD TV preview show for the final game of the season. My face is creating a smile already. The final game of the season, Norwich versus Tottenham Hotspur at Carrow Road, in order for us to seal the top four or the fourth place, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to do it. 100% going to do it. Before we start the stream, make sure you like the stream, hit the comments, should I say. Make sure you share the content around, notification bell as well. And we're joined in the house. We've joined in the house. Look he's turned up a little bit late, but you're not getting the intro first because you turned up late. Anyway, the first person that's going to get the intro on this, he is. I'm going to call him Ireland's number one. I don't care if he told me or not. Ireland's number one. He's in the house. He is David Dart, Irish Hotspur. Welcome to the channel. And also, we've got there at the top, one game at a time, the ultimate Sid Spurs, sing along Sid the man, whatever you want to call him. He's now fully clean shaven, and I like that too. He shows how much I'm bloody buzzing for this game. Can't wait. Gentlemen, welcome to the stream. Are you ready to do this?
I'm ready. Born ready. Ready's my middle name, lad.
Right then, where do we start? So 2 games ago, 4 points behind. 2 games later, 2 points ahead. We surely, even Tottenham Hotspur, in their bad days, cannot mess up from here. We've had away games against Liverpool, taken points off them. We know about the 6 points we've taken off Manchester City. When it really matters against the big teams, we've performed. This is now a big game, David. It's a massive game. Conte's alluded to that in his press conference. He said it is what we need. It's what the club requires. The pressure's on, but it looks like he's getting that mentality. What do you see happening come Sunday, 4 o'clock kickoff?
I'll be honest with you. I expect a party, celebrating top 4, to be honest with you. Look, I'm calm, Shane. I expected this all season long, maintained that we would get top 4, believed it. And when you believe it and it comes true, it's even better. And look, I get the whole Spursy thing, the whole lasagna gate, and this whole thing going around now, that Gary Lineker put out there earlier on today. And all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, look, we're playing against the worst defence in the Premier League. They don't score many goals either. In fact, if they do score, it's usually Timo Pukki. So you take him out, you should win this game. Look, if we're being honest with ourselves, like I get people, it's Tottenham, this, that, and the other, but we've got to get that out of the fan base. We can't have that in the fan base anymore. You've got to go in expecting to win. And the team have to live up to that pressure. But for me, Shane, I'm just calm. I expect to get the victory. If we're being honest with ourselves, we've been handed such a golden goose. You're going in to look at secure a top 4 against a team rooted bottom of the Premier League. You couldn't have asked for much better.
I said at the beginning of the season, if not even the beginning, partway through this season, and then when we get to the run, if you're looking for a team to play on the final day of the season, be it home or away, the team I would want to play is a team that scored the least amount of goals, conceded probably the most goals, already relegated, bottom of the league, won 5 games all season. Let's not forget that, won 5 games all season. You'd want to play that team. That team is Norwich. So we can't go into this game thinking, oh, what if? This is what I'm saying. The mentality of these players is now got to be so high because they've shown what they can do. This is the difference what I think is going to be from, that 2016 or whenever it was when we went up to Newcastle and famously fought. Yeah. You know what I mean? That sort of thing, that was Spursy, because no way should you go and lose 5-1 on a day, which we did. Sid, I'll come to you next. Clean shaven. You looks like you're ready. You mean business, as I'm going to do. Well, I'm not quite clean shaven, but I'm going to shape up come the weekend, come Sunday, but you're ready for it. Tell me, how are these players going to be ready for this game?
Listen, let me just tell you one thing. You better shape up because Spurs needs a man. How are we going to shape up for this weekend? You know what? Everyone's got to be buzzing from Sunday, buzzing from Thursday. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the same team. It's the same lineup. We go out there, we do the job. Walk on like the army, or one by one behind our sergeant and our captain as well. And then just get out there, line up, business as usual. This is not the Spursy of anymore. We are not going to be the 2016 where we're going to get Newcastle get rolled over. This is Conte's Tottenham, yeah? They've got something instilled in them now. and they've got belief. Like I said the other day, belief, power. Yeah, they're just going to turn up. It doesn't make a difference. I know it's the easiest game of the season. Everyone keeps saying, yeah, but everyone's going to turn up. Norwich are going to turn up. It doesn't make a difference, mate. As long as we're on our game, which we have to be from the minute 1 to minute 90, we just got to do the job. And I think with Conte on the sideline, he's going to remind them players until the 95th minute or whatever minute of injury time he goes into, get the job done. Simple as. Even if we're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-0 up, he's still going to expect 110% from every single one of them players. The whole fans in that stadium are going to expect 110%. And the rest of us watching, not on them channels anymore because they're not putting us on, but we will find it.
We'll find it. Don't you worry about that.
We'll be watching that game and we'll all be expecting them to give us 110%. So simple. We go out there, we do the job.
Definitely. Motivation. I always look at what's going to motivate a team. Now, you go back to 2016, top 4, or actually get into that position where, getting top 4 should have been our motivation. But again, different mentality. This time, we've done it the hard way. It was in Arsenal's hands up until, as I said, the Newcastle game. Now it's not. The motivation for us is not just about the top 4. It's making sure that them lot don't get back in. You can imagine, all the talk of what it would be if it was to. And I'm saying, I'm using these words because I know it's not going to happen, but you got to always obviously explore it. The motivation that we now have is got to be higher than Norwich. What are Norwich playing for? They're playing for their fans. Well, if they were playing for their fans, they should have been doing that 36 games ago, 37 games ago. They can't be just playing for their fans. They've been relegated for ages, So it's all about how we go out, what attitude we've got, play the same game. I expect us to score that first goal, and then it's going to be, it should be done. But there's always that, thought of how will Norwich set up. David, how do you think Norwich are going to approach it? Do you think, I've heard we're going to be going for it. We want our fans to go away happy for the season, blah, blah, blah. All the talk you would normally hear from a last day of the season. How do you think they're actually going to set up to play us?
I mean, look, all that talk is great, but they've won 5 games over the course of the season, so they haven't been living up to their talk. Second of all, people are banding around this whole 2 million bonus if they finish 19th. That's not going to the players. That's going to the club. So it's not any extra incentive for the players to go out there and put on a show. Look, I think Norwich will see it as a free hit. I think they'll come at us. But again, I think that'll play into our hands, to be honest with you. I think a few of the players that are playing out there might be playing for a move, over the summer to another Premier League club. So I'm sure they'll go out there and put their best foot forward. But at the end of the day, their best foot forward has not been good enough this season. I do expect them to come out of shame, but I think it'll play into our hands. I actually think this could be a high-scoring game for Tottenham. I think, look, Sonny, he's going for the golden boot, disrespected by the PFA today as well. So I can see him going out there. Speaking of motivation, there's motivation for him. Harry Kane, he's done that big team with Gary Neville. I want to win trophies. I want to play Champions League football. Well, now's your time to step up, prove it. Champions League football is on the offering. Go out there and do everything you can. You look at Hugo Lloris, didn't know whether he wanted to sign a new contract or move on. Again, over Champions League football, this, that, and the other. So again, go out there, put in another worldie, prove it. At the end of the day, no matter what Norwich do, to be honest with you, Shane, we just have better quality all over the park. Our front line, if they do come at us, which I'm expecting, pick them off all day long. We've picked off some of the best teams in this country, let alone Norwich City Football Club. Our midfield, Bentancur or Pierre-Emile Brickhouse and Ben Teckers, they should they're better than the Norwich midfield. They should be eating them up all game long. So it doesn't really matter how Norwich approach it. At the end of the day, we've got better players from 1 to 11, and we beat them.
Yeah, Conte's taking this game very seriously. If you listen to some of his words, he said in his press conference, he said, in England, every game's hard, every game's tough. He's got to talk like that. You don't want him going in there saying, it's already done, blah, 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 giving the players an excuse to kind of drop 5%, because you don't want them to drop 5%. They have to take this game as if, and it sounds silly to say, but they have to take it like it's a Champions League final, because it is effectively a cup final. Now, how the mentality for Norwich is, I don't know. These players have been relegated for a while. I don't know what is your motivation, because you're going to be playing in Championship. Some of these players may be playing for their future, possibly to go back for a Premiership team. But I think most of those players will probably stay at Norwich. I can't see many of them moving on. Even Timo Pukki, their best player, is likely to stay with them. So if he's their best player, I don't see where, you know, the motivation is, it's not like some of them are saying, oh, well, if I play really well, I'm going to get a move to Liverpool, or I'm going to get they're bottom of the league. Do you know how it is? They're bottom of the league. Sid, I'm going to ask you, how do we take this game? Do we go for it? Do we play the way that we would normally play away from home? Or do you think it's a case of try and get as much energy early, get that goal? Because we remember with the Burnley game, we only had 62 hours between the North London derby and that. Having had that North London derby with so much emotion, we've had a week to prepare for this one. What do you think that week preparation has done for them?
I personally believe, right? I know everyone's been on the groups, on social media, everything saying, you know, it's Norwich, or under 23s are going to turn up and smash them. We're going to get 5, we're going to get 6, we're going to get 7. I personally believe Conte's deep down saying in his brain, I don't care. I'll take a 1-0. I'll take a 10-0. As long as I win that game with my players, I'm not really bothered. And I don't think they're going to go gung-ho. I think they're going to, first 10, 15 minutes, I think they're going to pass the ball around like they do, try and get them on the counter. They're going to, if they need to sit back, he probably might just sit back, just to assess the situation. I don't think he's going to go guns blazing. I think he's going to see what Norwich are going to do, how they're going to set up, how they're going to play. Then I think he'll have a plan, because I don't think he's going to come off. We've never come out of the races that fast. We always tend to like take it easy, slow down, play, see how the other team are going to play, work them out, and then go for that counter attack or that ball over the top and beat them. I won't be surprised, right? I won't be surprised if it ends up as a 1-0 score, because Conte will be just as pleased with a 1-0 as they will be with a 5-0. Us fans, we don't want to sit till the final whistle hanging onto a 1-0, because
we don't.
You know what I mean? We want the game sewn up, done and dusted. So deep down, I think he'll want to take the 1-0, but he'll at least need 2 or 3 goals to do it. But I don't think we're going to get him that quickly. I think it all depends, like we said, on what Norwich do. If Norwich are just going to sit back and think, you know what, let them come at us and beat the crap out of us and score as many goals, or are they going to say, we've been battered by everyone this season, we've not played well, are we now going to, for one final game, show our fans what they can expect next season? And like you said, they're playing for contracts, they're playing for next season. Do they want to play in the Championship, or are they looking in the window for somebody else in the Premiership? You know, because with Norwich, it's that song, innit? We get knocked down, but we get back again. You're never going to let us down, right? That's all they're going to do, innit? Up and down, yeah? That's all it is with them. So,
David, you better get used to this. He's got a song for everything. Everything.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a matter of that. So we've got to say, all sit down next to me. But I won't be surprised. Honestly, I won't be surprised if it's a nail-biting 1-0.
I know what? Oh, go on. Sorry, let you go.
I just want to add what Sid was saying. Look, that's a tactic under Conte. What he does is he invites teams out in the first 10 minutes at least, you know, so that we have space then to play into it. Gives them belief, so they're not sitting in their shell. They keep coming at Tottenham thinking they're in this game, and then we catch them on the counter. That's if you go back and look at most of the games we played on the Conte, it's that exact same pattern. First 10, 15 minutes, we sit back, let teams believe, and then we look to counter.
Yeah. I think the crowd's going to play a big part for them, because obviously last day of the season, every home crowd is usually up for it. You know, so regardless of whether they're down, whether or not they're top of the league, the fans are going to be singing. That might play into our hands again, because the players might think, oh yeah, let's just go for it. They're not good enough. This is the problem. This is the point. They even if they were to score first, they're not good enough defensively. And we'll look at some of the stats in a little while, but the motivation for us is so high that, you know, Conte won't even allow them to kind of get into that mindset. I think for us, we're going to have that controlled possession. I think we're going to probably be patient. If they sit back, it doesn't matter, because we'll just have the ball like we did with Arsenal, keep the ball for 25, 30 minutes at a time. If they then want to get it back off us, we'll go back into our shape and counter-attack them. So it really doesn't matter how they play. I think we'll just have the control of the game. We'll either control them defensively or we'll control them offensively. One of the two. We'll probably do both at some points. But again, getting that goal, I keep stress about the first goal. You get that first goal away from home in this game, particularly, it is done. And I'm saying done. Motivation for Son then to go on to get his goals, get golden boot will be lovely to see. Let's see what happens. Let's have a few comments then here. We've got people watching. We've got Shirley. Unfortunately, sorry, Sean, your stream wasn't working, your internet wasn't working, but you're with us. No worries. He's talking to all these people we've got in there. We shouldn't take Norwich for granted. Lloyd is doing that, just trying to bring us back down. The players still need to turn up and give it 100%. The players, it should be. I think it should be. We shouldn't. It was just the same comment there. Where we are. I've lost all my comments. Here we go. Ellie, I'm confident we'll get the job done. And some kisses back to you, Sean, as well. So everybody's
lucky man, Shani. Lucky man.
Do you know what I mean? What's going on?
She saved all the kisses for him.
Big up, lads. Don't be nervous. 5-0 on Sunday from Scrumpy Cousins there. Yes. Trust me, no one is going to be scared of Emerson. Laugh out loud. Well, Emerson. Let's talk about Emerson quickly. We probably all here know that we haven't got the best wing backs in the world. I know me and David have been on different streams talking about wing backs, and we've talked about Matt Doherty, Matt Dorothy, whatever you want to call him. We've talked about Reguilón Sessegnon probably not being at the level that we want. However, what I will say, I'm not going to double down on saying that they have proved, Sessegnon and Emerson, in the time that they've had to step up in the last few weeks, they have done. David, do you think now that these players might deserve an opportunity next season, or are we still going to need to just fully get into the wing backs situation at Spurs? And how many do you think we're going to need?
Do you know what? Look, I don't think left wing back is as big as a problem as people make it out to be. I don't think it's been nowhere near as much as issue as the right hand side this season, or even as much as Eric Dyer has been at times this season. Look, I get people saying that Dyer has had a very good season. You go back and look throughout the course of the season, the amount of mistakes this guy has made. You talk about him being a leader. But yet you have players marking each other in the box, just like two Tottenham players marking each other, while Emerson has been left with two at the back post at times. A leader doesn't allow that to happen. So for me, I think we still need to concentrate on the centre-backs, in my opinion. But look, when you go to right wing-back, look, Doherty has come in. Dartinho, the Irish Cafu, he's come in. I love him that much. I even got my hair cut like him, as you can see. But look, for me, I think he's probably done enough to stay. But he is 30, pushing 31. So there is, how long do you keep hold of him? Has he shown enough with the age he's at to be able to keep him next season? I'm not sure. You look at Emerson, look, for me, I would actually keep Emerson around. I would keep Doherty around as well. I would like to go and get a third option, maybe someone a bit younger, like a Jed Spence or something like that to come in. But look, when you look at Emerson, we have to remember when Kyle Walker was 22, he was loaned out at Aston Villa. Emerson's 22, 23 now. And yeah, okay, earlier on in the season, he actually started off the season okay for me defensively. I think going forward has been people's biggest problem with him. Against Leicester, he was good. Against Liverpool, he was excellent going forward in terms of looking after the ball. He's shown that he can do it. And for me, I think with this guy, I think there's a lot more to come. And he has had to change from being a right back to a right wing back, which means he will have to be a lot better on the ball. But for me, I would leave it in his court this summer. It's like, look, you had a good ending to the campaign. You've shown that you can do it if we need you to do it. What are you going to do in the summer? Are you going to go off and party, relax, or are you going to work hard and come back here and show us that you want this position? But I would still bring in another option over on that right wing back situation. Look, on the left, I think Conte and Reguilón, I think there's something going on there, to be honest with you. But
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there definitely is. Look, I like Reguilón. Sessegnon, I wasn't his biggest fan, but in fairness, now over time, he has proved to me that he can play there, and he is a youngster. And I think Conte can work with him. Give Conte the summer, give him the preseason. I think you'll see a complete different Sessegnon next season. But you look at Sessegnon and Reguilón's injury record this season, you're probably going to have to get one in at the left wing back anyway. So, look, for me, they're not the best options. I think all across the back line, bar Romero, I would actually like to improve upon this summer, to be honest with you, Shane. Because, look, if we're talking about top four next year, yeah, it might be enough. It probably will be enough to get you top four. But Conte's not here to top four. He's not here to stagnate. He believes he can challenge the likes of City and Liverpool. He's already unbeaten against them two managers, them two teams this season. So for me, I think with what Conte wants, we will have to improve.
Yeah, I agree. Sid, you'll be doing the transfers during the summertime. Is there any, if you had to identify one position now that you think we'd have to definitely sort out, what would it be? Hard question, I know, but if there was only one.
If there's only one, I think centre backs. A centre back has to be a centre back to play alongside. If it has to be Dyer and Romero, then we have to have a centre back. I mean, no disrespect to Davis. Davis has done an absolute top job. You know, everyone wrote him off and said he's not good enough, blah blah blah. But he has been phenomenal as well. You know, the change under Conte, he's like become our Bostic man. Where whenever you need him, I mean, look at that challenge he put in for the Arsenal, diving in. You know, and so yeah. But a centre back is a must. We need to get someone, because as good as Dyer and Davis can be, we need someone who's going to be more commanding, that's going to be there week in, week out. And we don't need to worry, because when you got him and Romero, then, you know, we can say, all right, then we've got Davis or Dyer. Rather than saying Romero and Davis and Dyer, we can then have two top-notch centre-backs, and Dyer and Davis can fill in as and when required. You know, we could get away with that.
Yeah, I think I just think with that left centre back is probably the biggest position. I think on the right side of centre back, we could probably keep Sanchez. They're probably going to keep Sanchez. You've got Tanganga, who's got injured. I don't think Rodon's got a future at Spurs. If he had, he would have been playing now. In a similar sense to what Reguilon, I don't think he's got a future at Spurs. So those two players are going to be gone. So we need to have that left-sided centre back, if only for the reason that I think Champions League, you know, Ben Davies is a dependable player. We now can see that he can play at Premiership level. Whether Champions League level is probably beyond him, probably so. So if we improved on that, get a real top quality left-sided centre-back that could cover that, be the first-team player. But then on the games, you know, when you play the Tuesday or the Wednesday, to go to somewhere like, I don't know, a Burnley, who might not be in the league this next season, but to go to a Burnley on a Sunday or Saturday is always tough. You need them professionals like Ben Davies, who's not going to moan that he didn't play the game on a Wednesday. He's going to come in and do a job. So that's why I think he's important to probably keep in the squad. But certainly we need to improve. Go on, Davies. What was going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, the reason why I'm talking about Davies and Dyer, look, I actually think Davies has been better than Dyer this season. Look, they've had a good campaign in terms of their standards of what Spurs fans expect from them. But there's instances throughout the season from both of them where, if their mistakes didn't happen, we wouldn't have to hoping on Arsenal slip up. Yeah. You go back to, you know, look, set pieces is another issue altogether. That's also been another massive problem for Tottenham this season. But you go back to Dyer failing to close down Cristiano Ronaldo against United, crucial part of the game. You go back to Dyer turning his block on Trossard, or turning his back on Trossard against Brighton. That would have been a point. You know, against Leicester, although we won that 3-1, he still turned his back and gave away the same sort of similar goal. Against West Ham in the Cup, Dyer also gave away a pass straight to West Ham where they went up and scored. And it's things like that that just make things a lot harder for Tottenham. It's things like that that means we will have to go into every single game probably needing 2 goals if we want to get 3 points. Look, they've had a good season, but it can't. We can buy better. You go back and analyze their season fairly without saying, oh, for their standards, they've had a good season. You go back and analyze it. You pick instances from both of them right throughout the season where that, if them mistakes didn't happen, we'd be talking about a completely different season. And I think under Antonio Conte, he will want to improve. He'll see that. I agree with you as well, Shane. Going into Champions League, are they good enough when we come up against some of the better teams? I don't think so. I think Dyer will get found out. I think Davies will get found out at that level. But I also, look, I do think, obviously, because we're not the likes of City or that with the amount of money they have, I think they will. I think ultimately I would like 2 centre-backs in here, one for replacement for Dyer, one for Davies as a left-sided centre-back, and put them as backup players. But my problem is we've seen how they've come in and done as backup players. They haven't been able to fill that role. They need to be playing consecutive games to get good games out of themselves. Davies, amount of times he came in under Jose Mourinho at left back or even at left side as a centre back, woeful. Dyer at times stepping in and out of the team, woeful. I'm still not convinced that if they do get pushed to that backup position, can they come in and hit the levels they've been at? We've already heard Harry Winks this season saying you need a consecutive run of games, for him to be able to perform. And I just fear that they're also like that.
It's a tough one because obviously the players that have played now have improved. There's been a lot of improvement in some players this season. We can clearly see that. And as Conte's mentioned, he's mentioned it being a miracle to get this position. And to some degree, he's probably overplaying that. But I understand what he's saying. I don't think it's a miracle myself personally. It's a very good achievement. However, he's not just going to take out 8 players and just say, see you later. I think there's going to be a degree of who can he trust. There's players that I think he can trust, and Ben Davies is one of them he can trust. He's not at the level of some of the others in terms of the technical ability, but he can trust him. And he uses words like trust quite often. He said the same thing about Sanchez as well. Again, he's another player that I'm thinking to myself, well, he's got a mistake in him there. But for some reason, he trusts him, and he's put him in a situation. Yeah, he started off a little bit shaky when he played against Burnley, blah, blah, blah. But then, confidence. Maybe during the preseason, he can be improved, and he could then be a backup. So, again, you're right. I think we do need some centre-backs, but we might not be seeing the end of people like Sanchez or Ben Davies anytime soon, because I think they're probably good professionals that, are needed around. Definitely Dyer as well. He's another one.
Do you know what it is, James? I think going back to what Wolfie was saying, I think what Conte said it a few times as well. He wants to have a look. He wants to turn to that bench, and not see players that people have never ever heard of. He wants to look to that bench and he wants to look at it and say, you know what? I've got confidence in him. I've heard of him. You know what I mean? So the likes of Dyer, Sanchez, Davis on the bench is a better option than having some of these youngsters or players that have not got a game and will never get a game, but they're just making up the numbers on the bench. So that's why I think even if we get the 2-3 extra centre backs and the right wing backs or whatever, keeping these kind of players is good, because that makes our bench stronger, because we're not bringing on players that have never played, have not got the experience. They'll be good centre backs or players that have had experience in the Premiership and that might be able to do a job if and when needed.
Yeah, I agree. But look, I do think they'll be kept around. I do, and I think you're right. It is players that Conte can trust. But just for me, the only reason why they performed this season is because it's been a back three. There's an extra man to help them. How many times have we seen this season Romero coming across, covering them, winning the headers so that they're not put under pressure? Time and time again, I've seen it with this. And for me, Romero has been a massive help to their game. And I agree with you, but I do think if we get in better centre-backs, I think the drop-off in quality, if these guys have to step on, is going to be so noticeable. And for me, I think it'll be costly.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, I think the levels, Champions League level to Premiership level, although the Premiership levels are hard, they're hard physically. Technically, the Champions League level, the Champions League game is going to be harder. And that's where the likes of Ben Davies, your Dyers are going to probably be found out more so, because of the fact that I don't think they're technically as good as the Champions League level they're going to face. However, you look at someone like, again, let's take an Aston Villa, let's take, a Wolves, a Brighton. Apart from the top two, I think we match anybody in the league. So provided, we can avoid certain injuries, we can, mix and match the players when needed, we get them players in, I think we can do well on both counts, but it depends on what Conte sees as his priority. I don't know at this moment in time. But let's get into some of the stats. But before we do that, make sure if you are watching live, hit that like button now. Make sure you smash a like on this stream. Keep putting your comments in the comment section below. Notification bell as well. If you're watching on catch up, if you're listening on Spotify, then go over to YouTube and smash the like button for us. Right then, let's share some of this information that we've got to show you.
Just quickly, before you move on, I just want to finish my on Davies and Dyer. I think as well, on the ball, I don't think they're technically good enough going into next season. You look at it this season, the amount of times they're giving away the ball in bad areas, which creates shots at our goals and stuff like that. Again, other mistakes like that can be eliminated as well. And if we have better players on the ball, I think you'll see us playing a lot more silkier football as well. It's because Conte likes to build out from the back. Davies sometimes... he's giving away sloppy passes. Dyer, there's a reason why I've given him the nickname Moon Boots. I haven't just plucked out of thin air, And
let's not forget that, because that sometimes does get a bit... I've seen some of Dyer's passes live and in the flesh. I'm thinking, where's that one going? And it kind of gets masked because of, the fact that he's a leader. I've seen how he leads. Ben Davies again. He puts his whole body on the line. Some of the blocks he does, but again, I remember the incident against Wolves, and he just literally gave the ball to base of the player. So there's things like that that's still within their games that will need to be improved. It can be improved, but there's certain levels of technique that you can't go beyond. I think they can get to a level, but then the talent after that to take them to that is not going to be there. So yeah, I think you're both right. We do need to sort something out, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, league table. So we can just look at that. We almost had a shout of maybe, possibly overtaking Chelsea last game, but they got that draw against Watford, so it didn't happen. Anyway, forget that. We're not going to score 20-odd goals, and they're not going to lose their game anyway. So it is a straight fight for fourth place between us and them lot. Them lot play Everton on Sunday. I don't know what Everton are going to be doing. They probably still not even come back in from their exploits from yesterday. So the likelihood is I'm taking it that Arsenal win that game. By hook or crook, they will probably win that game.
Do you know Arsenal have got on Sunday, they've asked Gallagher to go out and help them out at Emirates. You know that, don't you? Because he wants them to go, maybe you're going to be the one that saves me.
I actually fear Everton players went out last night and they'll probably have a right piss up. I actually think Arsenal could batter Everton at the weekend because they've nothing left to play for.
No.
They've got nothing. They've thrown everything into that game yesterday. Yeah, but when they were 2-0 down, literally threw everything out.
Yeah, I think Lampard's not going to let him. I think Lampard will want to go out on a high because they've had such a shit season.
See, they'll still be out on the piss now. If I was them, I'd still be out on the piss now.
I think Lampard's going to keep them intact, mate. I think he'll want to beat Arsenal. I think people will be surprised. I think Everton will turn up on Sunday. I honestly think they'll turn up.
I hope they do, because that just makes it a little bit better. Because if Arsenal get a hard game, and even if, like I said, I can see Everton being a very low block and just deciding that they're going to just, frustrate, because they don't need to do anything, do they? They don't need to win. If they had to win, it probably would have played into Arsenal's hand. The fact that they have won, provided the players are not drunk when they play on Sunday, I think they should be all right. But I think a few of them are still probably going to be drunk. Anyway, Tottenham Hotspur played 37 games, won 21. This is what I'm saying. A couple more draws in here, a few more draws. Chelsea have only won 20 games. It's just these fine margins here. But anyway, 37 games played, 21 won, 5 drawn, 11 lost, scored 64, conceded 40, goal difference of 24, 68 points on the board. Arsenal, 37 games played, 21 games again won, 3 drawn, 13 lost. That's a lot of games lost, but we've lost a lot of games. 56 goals scored, 47 against, goal difference of +9. Then let us have a look at the games. Arsenal versus Everton, we know. Brentford versus Leeds. Brighton versus West Ham. Burnley, Newcastle, Chelsea, Watford. Crystal Palace versus Man United. I think Crystal Palace are going to win that one. Leicester versus Southampton. Liverpool, Wolves. Man City, Aston Villa. Norwich, Spurs. David, do any of the other games matter apart from the Arsenal game? Do you care about any of the others?
No, honestly, I couldn't give a shit what goes on. I don't care about the title race. Look, Man City bought it if they win it. And I hate Liverpool, and VAR has helped them across the season. That's why it's Liverpool. And for me, look, couldn't really give a toss about it because I don't give a shit about any other game apart from Tottenham, to be honest with you. You know what I'm like, Shane.
Yeah. Are you probably doing a watch-along? Are you doing a watch-along for that as well?
Oh, yeah, I'll be doing a watch-along.
Oh, you're going to plug that in.
Myself and Shawnee Boy will be carrying it. Sean might even come out with the car beforehand, giving it a good sing-song.
Plug that one at the end anyway. Still, I'll ask you the same thing. You know what I mean? Anything other than the Spurs, and probably have a little bit of one eye on the Arsenal game. Are you bothered about the title race?
I can't give a shit. I totally agree with the Irish Mr. Hotspur. I do not give a shit. I don't care if Liverpool win it, or I don't care Man City. Actually, I want Man City to win. I don't want Liverpool to win it because we'll never hear the end of it. Right?
They win all four. I don't want Liverpool to
win it.
That's
what I'm saying. And even with the Arsenal game, I don't give a flying monkey because as long as we do what we've got to do, that's all my concentration is going to be on, is getting Spurs the 3 points. Doesn't give a shit. I don't care what they do. We get the 3 points. Doesn't matter. It's, it does not make any difference what they do. They can win 15-0. We can win 1-0. I can't give a toss, mate. We just got to do what we got to do. Get the 3 points. Get the 4th place. And forget about them. And
that has been the mentality of Conte in the press conference.
This is it.
He didn't even mention Arsenal. He's not mentioned anything about their game. All he's focused on the mentality of these players. the practice, so that's the preparation of these players, blah, 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 how important the game is. He's making sure that they're focused on us. Forget about them lot down the road. It don't matter what they do. It really doesn't matter what they do because we have it in our hands now.
See,
that's the difference.
If you stop thinking about other people and start thinking about this is going to happen, that's going to happen, that's when you start losing your mentality and you start losing your head because you're now already thinking about that team. No, you just think about your team, your players, and what you've got to do. Block everything else out.
More and more facts. Right then. So last 5 games for Spurs, the 1-0 against Burnley. I'm going to mention it again. Only 62 hours between that game against the North London opponents, or the London opponents, as Deji called them, because they're from South London. 3-0 against them lot. 1-1 against Liverpool, 3-1 against Leicester, and a 0-0 draw against Brentford. We scored 8 and conceded 2 in that time. 1-3, drawn 2, as you can see. With regards to our friends who were playing, Norwich, not too good. Not too good. They've scored 1 goal in the last 5, conceded 13. That 1-1 against Wolves. Again, Wolves are on a terrible run at the moment anyway. Leicester turned them over. Norwich got turned over by West Ham. Aston Villa turned them over. Newcastle turned them over. So I'm not looking at anything other than a Spurs win. I don't want to hear anything about nerves. We can't be nervous. There's no nerves going in. We're not playing for the championship. We're playing for 4th place. Let's get that straight. We're playing for 4th place, people. We're not playing to win the league. So if they've got nerves now, imagine what the nerves are going to be like if they're getting bloody Champions League next season. Come on. Let's not get that silly. Anyway, David, you were saying this team don't score many. This team concedes a lot. Does this give you even more confidence about the game on Sunday?
Oh, look, I'm extremely confident. Look, I don't believe into this Spursy thing. If people want to believe into it, then they're probably the Spursy ones, to be honest with you. For me, I take a good attitude towards Tottenham. I have expectations of my team. I go into games expecting them to perform, expecting them to win, and I expect nothing more than this, more than a win against or nothing less than a win against the Canaries. To be honest with you, they're absolutely god awful. Look, I've heard all season long, oh, but what if you've got to respect it? No, you don't. At the end of the day, just call a spade a spade. They're shit. They're bottom of the Premier League for a reason. The league table doesn't lie. We've got the better players. We've got Sonny going for the Golden Boot. We've got Harry Kane, who's world class. Them two alone, you could put them two out against that 11 and they'd probably win, to be honest with you. I think Spurs fans now need to start adopting a better mentality, especially under Antonio Conte, going into games expecting. Stop with this Spursy stuff, because it does rub off on the players. It does. You think they don't check social media and they see all that, and then that starts playing on their mind. Oh, what if it starts playing doubt into their mind? No, forget it. We're going into this and we're winning. Look, it's the media that are trying to hype up this Spursy team because they want to fail so bad. So badly. Look, the media hate us. The Premier League hate us. PFA hate us. Every other club in England hate us. And they're all going to try and stir up this Spursy thing to get the Spurs fans into a frenzy, along with this whole sickness thing that was put out there and all. Forget about it. Let's go in there with an absolute steel mentality, and let's go out there and get the job done. We're playing against fucking birds at the end of the day. One more bird hunting expedition this season. Let's enjoy it.
Norwich. It's Norwich. There's all talk about Harry Kane. There's someone will be saying, oh, he might miss the game because he's ill. Harry Kane won't miss this game. They'd have to kill him. They'd have to chop both his legs off. And if it was me, even if they chopped both my legs off, I'd go and knock on Oscar Pistorius' cell door and borrow his bloody legs, put them on, and still play. That's how much you want to be playing this game, because there's no way on earth that these guys are not going to be playing. These guys are going to be up for it. Little illnesses, little niggles, whatever it is, it's the last game of the season. They're going to be fully up for this game, 100%. Sid, I'm going to check us to look at last 5 matches then against Norwich. As you can see, 4 wins, a draw. Tottenham won last game 3-0. Before that, it was a 2-1 at our place. Then we've had a 2-2 draw 2019 at theirs. We won 3-0 in 2016 and 2015, another 3-0 at home. And in terms of the away games, again, good record, 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. The loss coming in 2014. I don't even know who played in that game. I can't remember. I'm not bothered. Again, the away record. Should we even be looking at these things and thinking, whoa, could we it looks like there's a pattern there, there's a draw, a win, a loss. Could it be that we're going to fuck all that shit? Fuck all that shit. I'm sorry for swearing, but I am going to say F all that shit because it don't matter. That looks like a nice pattern and you think there's going to be an L on top. Arsenal fans, you think there's going to be an L on top? Come and check us back on Sunday because I'll tell you what, there ain't no L's coming in this bloody game. Yeah. How confident are you then, Sid?
Listen, that last game was a 2-2, wasn't it? A 2-2 draw, yeah? Well, you know what? There's a lot of 2-2s, but guess what's going to happen on Sunday? 2-2-2. Come on and do the conga. 2-2-2.
I told you he was in for a long night, David. I told you in for a long night when you come on this show, mate. When we got to see the
guy's going to start singing the Danny Kiriakou song. I was like, where is he?
But no, you know what? Like we've said this many times throughout the whole season on our streams. Going into a game, form doesn't mean shit. Yeah, you could have the best form. How many teams have come to Spurs, not won a game, not scored a goal, yet they've come over and rolled us over? Yeah. So it's what happens on the day. If you're prepared on the day, if you're fully focused on the day, your mentality is right, and you got Conte and his bodyguard shouting at you, then that's all you need. That's all you need. So I'm not even worried because they're going to be ready, mate. They're going to be ready. And like you said, if they're not ready for this game, then they'll never be ready because we're playing for fourth. We're fighting for fourth. We're not fighting for the championship or we're not fighting for the World Cup or whatever. We're fighting for fourth. And if you can't get geared up and see it through, then there's serious problems.
I'll tell you this now. If we weren't to win this game, if we were to lose this game, because that's the only result that's going to make a difference if Arsenal win. If we were to lose this game, that shows me that nothing's changed. Nothing has changed because this is when it really matters. All the games against Liverpool, all the games against City. I know we won a North London derby, but this is when it really matters. We were playing because we were relying on Arsenal to F up, which they did. Now it's back to us. Are we going to F up? There's no opportunity for another game after this. So it's just winner takes all. And this is what shows me whether or not we have got this Spursy tag. Because I'm like you, David, I don't believe in all of this bullshit. Yeah. Sometimes it's just pressure on these players. Situations, blah blah blah. But there's always a little bit of circumstance around it. We've got the right person in place now. We've got the right form going into this game. We're playing the right team that you would want to play if you're playing your last game of the season. I'm sorry, but there's no excuses for anybody in the club other than for us to then take 3 points. You don't think?
Yeah, I agree. I just want to talk on that Spursy thing as well. And the reason why, look, it's not Spursy. It's what happens when you have players that are not of the best quality. You get the ups and downs in results. You get the ups and downs in performances. That's not Spursy. That's just to do with the quality of the squad we have over the last while. That's all it is. It's not this whole big Spursy thing people want to make a deal out of. It just comes down to what you get when we have had the squad we've had.
Yeah, I agree. Let's look at this last little bit then, and then we'll go on to the favourite bit about the score predictions. This should be interesting. Anyway, head-to-head in the Premier League, Norwich against Norwich. We played 19. We have won 11. They've won 3. They've won 1 game at home against us. They've won 2 away to us. That's interesting. But we've won 5 away against them lot. So again, looking at that, I'm not going to say any more than that. But I put this down. Sam's wants to watch, and we can have a little bit of a talk about this. I think, for me personally, Heung-min Son, he's going for the golden boot. He is definitely the one to watch. I can see us if we get that goal early and we're comfortable in possession and we're comfortable in the game, they'll probably do everything they can. If he's not the one that scored, to get him to score. Conte's already said he's not taking the penalty though, unless it's 4 or 5-0 up. But I can see Heung-min Son being a real player in this game. Timo Pukki, I brought him down because he's the only player I know at Norwich, apart from Max Aarons. I don't know the others. So Timo Pukki, whether he scores or not, don't care. Anybody else that we should be looking out for, Sid?
I'm not even looking at any of their players, mate. I'm just looking at our players. I don't care who turns up for Norwich. Do you know what? Delia Smith can wear that shirt on Sunday. I can't really give a flying whatever, yeah? Flying canary. I can't give a flying canary. But what I will want to watch, and I will be watching very closely, is, and I personally believe Harry Kane is going to do everything in his powers to get Son the golden boot. I'm telling you now. Even if it means if he's got an open goal and Son's there, he's going to pass it to Son. I think he'll want Son to get that golden boot. And apart from obviously the penalty, which we already know that Kane's going to have to take it. But I reckon Kane's going to hit the ball and let Sonny run onto it to put it to the back of the net.
Imagine that. Imagine they did what Arsenal did. You remember that one when Pires did that little thing where he tried to do it for Henry? Imagine.
Can you imagine? But you know what? I will say one player that we need to watch out for, and we've said this many, many times, because this person has a worldly every time he plays us. Cruel is my only worry.
Yeah, forget about him. Cruel. Yeah, he does. He always plays.
Pull it out every time we play us. He seems to pull out some madness saves. But
you're right in that sense.
I've got all the confidence. But I think he's their main player to be. Forget Lukey. He's the main man. Cruel's going to be the man.
David, anybody else we should be watching out for both Spurs and for Norwich?
I think Harry Kane for Tottenham. Look, the guy, Norwich have conceded the most penalties this season with 12. Harry Kane loves the penalty. He scored his, last 21 consecutive penalties for Tottenham. So, I mean, that's you definitely look out for him. Plus, if he scores a brace, he scored more goals than any other player on the last game of the season as well. So, I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I had to come with the Harry Kane stat. So,
yes, you did. Yes,
I did. I have to do it. He's my favourite player. I love the guy, honestly. I'd lick his boots clean after a game, to be honest. But look, for me, I think we definitely have to watch out for Big H, Harry Kane, king of the lane, best number 10 in world football. Look, I agree with Sid. Actually, it's not a bad shout with Krul in goals. But Timo Pukki, look, this guy does make actually clever runs. Yeah. For me, if I was him, I'd be making my runs between Dyer and Davies rather than. Oh, well, Sanchez is in, I suppose. Look what Cornet done to him against Burnley with that run. So if I was, I would actually be careful of him, because I think he scored, 11 of their, 23, 24 goals this season? He scored 11 of them. So he is the guy to watch from Norwich in terms of going forward.
Yeah. There's like Max Sarans, he's had a poor season, but again, he's a player that's been on our radar. From what I've seen, like I said, I've not seen much of Norwich this season, but I've not been impressed with anybody. I don't see anybody in the teams for me that's like Timo Pukki scores. He's the only one who scores their goals. They might have got a couple of goals elsewhere, but if you're not even playing a high line and he ain't got space to run into, I haven't seen them create anything where they're intricate. They're playing through you and then they knock one into the top corner. That's not going to happen. They need space. They need a bit of luck. Set pieces, again, I don't know their record from set pieces, but we seem to have got better at defending set pieces. We need to do something on taking set pieces, because Son's corners sometimes are a bit shite. However, I can forgive him for that because he's got 21 goals this season. So let's go to a few more comments before we get to what we're coming next to. We're going to get the score predictions. So hello guys, here we've got Nav. You can't blame some people being a bit cautious. We threw it to the Scum at Newcastle a few years ago, but this is different teams. Scum won't win anyway. I think they will. I think Arsenal will win. I just think they've got nothing to play for. So when they have got nothing to play for, they always seem to play well. So I think they're going to win their game. 3-0 for us is what Sean's saying. Evening, guys. Hope everyone is well. 5-0 to the Spurs. Son, a hat-trick incoming. We've also got the high tones. Welcome, seen you before. How didn't Son get a nomination for the award long over Gallagher? Absolutely.
Start me on that one.
Yeah, I don't understand that personally, but again, it's what it is. It looks like Pukki has eaten all Delia's pies in that photo.
Where are you? Where are you? We need you.
We're having you.
I wonder if she'll be there.
She'll be there. Of course she will be there. She owns the club, doesn't she?
I don't know. She might not want to. I don't know.
She's there all the time. She's there.
She might come on at half time. Let's see if she does a half time rant. We're too experienced under Conte and the job will get done. Focus is the key. Sunday's game is a chance to elevate the club back to the top table. Well, at least show that we've got the mentality sorted out. That's what I want to see. It's the mentality side more than anything else. Big up, everyone. I'm going 3-0 on the basis that Sam is saying if we can't beat Norwich, then what's the point? I agree. What is the point? If we can't beat bloody Norwich, we don't deserve to be in any Champions League. We don't even deserve to be in the Prem, to be honest with you. Evening. That is from Sean Ho. Good chat, getting us up for the game. Of course it is. Right, we've got more there. We'll come to some of them in at the end. But let's do this. Where is it? Banners. Where we go. Here we go. Score prediction. I'm going to go first because I haven't been first for a little while. So I'm going to put myself down.
Because you're always hiding, waiting for everyone else.
No. It's because that's what I want to give my guests an opportunity to be on screen first. I'm going to have this one. I'm going to say 3-0 to the Spurs. I think it will be a game where it might be cagey the first 10, 15 minutes. I think we'll be controlled in possession. I don't see, even if Norwich come flying out the traps, unless they get a freak of a goal, it might put us on the back foot a little bit. But again, if they score early, cool. What I want to see a score within the first 20 or so minutes, 25 minutes, get that goal, and I think it's job done. Probably 1-0 at half time and then a couple goals in the second half. And I'm going to say Son to get 2. And you know what? I'm going to say Ryan Sessegnon to pop up with a goal as well. There you go. Right then. David, after you.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4-5-0, Shane, to be honest with you. I think we actually score early in the game, to be honest with you. I think we come out the traps, hunting the Canaries, getting the pellet guns out ready for them. I'm going to go with somewhat a brace. I think he comes out with the golden boot. I'm going to go with Big H with 1. It's just customary. He scores. I'm going to throw Dyer in there because there's a guy that comes onto the channel. He probably does come in here at times. Moondog. He puts a 5 about every week for Dyer to score, and it hasn't come in. So I really wanted to come in for him. And so I'm going to go with 4-0. But I have a sneaky suspicion Pierre and Højbjerg might bang one in,
Ooh. Yeah, I think Bentancur's due a goal as well. Bentancur's due a goal, but
he hasn't scored in like 109 games or something like that.
He got stuff on throwing, didn't he?
Oh dear, he might not score then. Right, I didn't realise there's that many games. So I've gone 3-0. David's gone 4-0. I've said Son 2, Sessegnon goal. David's gone with a brace for Son, Kane, and Dyer. Young Sid.
Well, I'm going to be Darius now.
Oh no, don't do it, Darius.
Like that, Darius. No, I'm joking. Look, Newcastle battered them 4-0. West Ham battered them 4-0 after the Europa League game on a Thursday, and they went there on a Sunday with injuries and whatever, and they battered them 4-0. So I can't see us. I don't think we'll score 5 or 4. I don't think we will. Like I said at the beginning, didn't I? That I think Conte will be happy with a 1-0 as much as a 3-4-0. I'd love it. I want us to score at least 3, right? Because I want Sonny to get the golden boot. But I think it's going to be 2-0 to Spurs. I've just got this. Every time we say we're going to score 3, 4, 5 goals, yeah, they let us down all the time, every time. Burnley games, Brentford games, Brighton games, where we've all gone in and like we're going to hammer them and this, that, the other, and we sort of struggled. But I think 2-0 will just be the icing on the cake for me, and Sonny to get them both.
For me, it would have been 2-0. I can understand what you're saying about, but the Burnley game and those other games, those teams probably had a bit more to play for. Certainly Burnley did.
Yeah.
If we score the first goal against this, let's not have nothing to play for. Absolutely nothing. And it doesn't matter what your mentality is. If you're slightly down on the motivation to win football at top level, it makes a difference. And these players, it's like, well, I don't need to really go for that extra challenge because I don't need to get injured. I might be, you know what I mean? My agent might be on the phone to me next week. So I can see it. As long as we get that goal. If they score first, the crowd will be up for it. Definitely. Yeah. But other than that, I don't see. David, anything else you want to add about the game in terms of, how you think the score will go in terms of, well, you said what your scores are going to be. Nobody's giving any goals to Norwich.
No, I just want to say, first of all, Delia, please just stay away from the pitch. We don't want to see any of them shenanigans. And then second of all, I want to thank Stan Kroenke or whatever. Yeah, I think Stan Kroenke, the chairman of Arsenal, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to thank him for having all them gooners in the home stadium, so we can see images reverberating around of them crying. I mean, he's got them all in one place to give us a big crescendo for the end of the season. So thank you, Kroenke.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
And apparently, also, they've got Britney Spears turning up on Sunday as well because she's going to sing at the end. Whoops, I did it again. I played with your heart. Got lost in the game. Lost many games. Sorry, not lost in the game. Lost many games.
I'll give the Gooners one little fillet. If we were, let's say you were to win your game or we were to lose, obviously you've got a lot of clips here to clip us up on, but it ain't happening. It's not happening. So do what you want.
Do you know what's great? The fact that there's so many Arsenal fans sitting there hoping, sitting there with that little thread of hope that it's going to happen. It's fantastic.
they're all playing that Kevin Keegan. I'd love it. I'd love it. They've got one more game to play, and I'd love it if they went to Carrow Road, and I would love it. Just love it. Yeah.
They've got to win their game firstly. That's what the point is. But I think they will. But let's say, anyway, let's again forget that shit. I'm not worried about it.
They're not going to win their game.
Michael Bennett said, remember, people, the Spammers beat Norwich 4-0 a couple of weeks back, and Newcastle, I believe, the same scoreline, both at Carrot Road. Oh, dear. It is nice to see some happy, smiling presenters on here instead of the glum faces from earlier in the season. Yeah, we were going through some things then. We had Nuno. Don't forget that. That needed therapy. We had plenty of therapy sessions on here, 100%. The high tones. Can't wait. Absolutely buzzing end of the season like this. Yeah, in Conte we trust. Not Arsenal, Sid. What was that in reference to?
I don't know. When I said
Sure.
2-0, so I don't know what he means about not Arsenal, Sid.
Okay. They've got their home fans to play for and their pride, and we've still got to be respectful. Hopefully take Pookie out the game sorted. I agree. High tones, I agree. We've got to be respectful, but you've got to also have confidence. That's what I have. I've got confidence.
Yeah.
As I said, if I was going to pick a team, this is the team I would be choosing. 100%. So, excuse me.
Everyone has said if that's one game that you want at the end of the season, it's Norwich City. So
exactly. In my experience as an athlete, you have to go in and show them why you're third and they're bottom. I feel even there, 1-0 still up, we win. If not, we can't blame anybody. And I agree. We cannot blame nobody. There's nobody to blame for this one. Sean, last comment. We've scored 3 against Arsenal and we called it.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I think that was really good. David, tell the viewers, because I know you got this watch log and they're going to want to know about that, but tell the viewers where they can find you if they don't already know, because they all know where you are. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, you can find me over at the Irish Hotspur. There is spaces in between them, unlike Sean Spurs talk show, no spaces. There is spaces in mine. And yeah, you can find me having a big Champions League party on Sunday, probably starting around 3:45, I would say. And might probably be a couple of hours after when we end. Probably get Sean, get him a nice bottle of vodka, get him on the guitar after. Bit of a sing-song, celebrate the season.
Job done. And Sid, do you want to tell the viewers about the end of season art, Sid, that you've got coming up?
Yes, so we're gonna have an end of season Ask Sid.
Is that it?
No
more plugging in that.
No. What we're gonna do, so we're gonna do an end of season Ask Sid, and obviously we're gonna get the boys from PAXTON Road, and I've asked them it's an award ceremony, and there's going to be about 5 awards that are going to be given out across the whole Prem. So tune in, listen and see what the boys and girls have got as their award winners. And then we want all of you to come on and comment with your winners and who you think should win these categories. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be let's see what interesting nominations and interesting awards, who gets what. And whether we at PAXTON Road all agree on certain awards. So
we're not going to
watch this space. It's going to be an interesting one, and may the best man win them awards.
Or woman. Oh, are you talking about the awards for the players? I know. But is it? Yeah, okay. All right, I'll let you off. Yeah, that'll be good. So look out for that on Twitter, people. I'm sure Sid will advertise that on Twitter, and you'll get to know about that very soon. That is it. I think I'm excited. I'm like the was for that North London derby game. I mean, it's exciting and as confident about that as I am for this game on Sunday. And again, if the unthinkable, then I would say that Spurs don't deserve it. But again, I've seen the mentality shift. I've seen how Conte has stated how important this game, and he's not just going blasé, taking anything for granted. He wants to win this game, and it will show a level of, ability for him to be able to take us to next season. And that's why I want to see what we do next season as well. So, David and Sid, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Before we go, make sure there's still over 40 of you watching. Hit that like button again, notification bell, all the rest of it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go over and subscribe to the Irish Hotspur if you already haven't done that already. And I'm sure you have. Let the calm begin. Let it begin. Let the weekend begin, guys. You know what it's about. You know what we've got to do. We just got to win. So come on, you Spurs. That is the end of the show.
Come on, you Spurs. In content we trust.